Welcome back to College Football Addiction. Tennessee and Alabama, a big game in the SEC, a big game that probably doesn't eliminate Alabama, but their margins are absolutely razor thin. And man, it's hard to think of a path outside of just winning out that Bama could get back into the race here. There's enough going on in college football right now that there's a lot of unexpected teams that are up there that maybe we weren't thinking would be talked about as playoff type contenders. You've got Indiana, you've got Iowa State, Colorado right now looking a little bit better. I know they've got 2 losses, but you think they're going to keep a 10-2 Deion Sanders team out of the playoff? Notre Dame certainly looks like they should win out. We'll see what happens with Navy, Army, both undefeated at this point. I don't know that the surefire lock of a 9-3 team in the SEC is going to just get them into the playoffs, but we'll see. The other problem they're going to run into is that if Tennessee loses to Georgia and that's their second loss, well, I know you got the common opponent, but you also have head-to-head. And I think Tennessee's going to get in over Alabama if they're both sitting there at 10-2. So just winning out doesn't necessarily guarantee Bama a spot in. Now, if they beat LSU, knock them down some, if maybe Tennessee beats Bama or Tennessee beats Georgia, drops another one somewhere, maybe you could have a spot. But your Vandy loss from a couple of weeks ago certainly doesn't look very good after they struggled with Ball State on Saturday night. And so I think it's trouble time in Tuscaloosa. But let's talk about Tennessee first. Nico's run to open the game, very first drive. You had Nico out there running the ball. We talked to Sports Talk Jay about this. You got to use his legs more. We talked with Jake Crane of Crane & Company about this. You got to use his legs more, and they did that in this game. Nico looks like he was more comfortable running. Obviously, did a good job of getting down. He did take some hits, but obviously went out for part of for some of the game too. They had to bring the backup in, but I do think that the threat of his legs was a big deal. The Sampson fumble again. Tennessee just kind of cursed in the first half this year. You would hope that they can somehow figure that out, and I'm sure they will. But back-to-back weeks scoring 0 points. And what happened again? The defense kept him in it. The defense is absolutely the MVP of this team, although maybe Dylan Sampson should get a vote or two for that too. They have a one-handed interception in the end zone. They can't make any field goals. Obviously, Bama gets the touchdown early in the second quarter, but then bad interceptions by both Nico and Moore there in the second quarter. You miss another field goal. You get to halftime, though, at 7-0. And you're kind of thinking like, wow, this game really isn't as exciting as I thought it would be. I thought it was kind of too average-ish to above, above average, but average top 10-ish teams playing each other. Might get a good game out of this. It wasn't a great game. It was sloppy. A lot of turnovers in the first half. 4 turnovers in the first half? Milroe didn't look very good. Looked good on the one drive. And then halftime happened. And then Tennessee, just like they did last week, came back to life. Sampson and Nico's legs tie the game up. Bama gets a field goal to go up by 3. And then finally, I even tweeted this, Nico just cannot hit the deep ball. He just could not, for the last several weeks, could not find that deep ball, and he finally hits it. A 61-yard touchdown, a 61-yard pass, a Sampson touchdown gives Tennessee the lead back. Justice Haynes gives Bama the touchdown back. And then Brazel, the touchdown, the game winner in the end zone, diving at the back of the end zone, goes up 21-17. Field goal puts them up 7. The interception seals it. Massive win for Tennessee. If I had a cigar here, I might even. If I had a cigar here, we'd pull it out. We wouldn't smoke it because I'm not smoking inside the house. But, Tennessee gets to light up the cigars. Big shout out to my guy over at R&R Cigars, Reagan in Tuscaloosa. But I don't think it's from him. But Tennessee gets to light up the cigars, and man, what a massive win. And I know Bama's not Bama this year. I get it. You lose to Vandy. You almost lose to South Carolina. You look like crap in the first half or first 3 quarters of the USF game. I get it. Bama is not Bama this year, and that's fine. But just a massive game. If they lose this one, can you imagine? It'd be just as bad as it is on the Bama side right now, maybe worse. If you lose this one, if you're Tennessee, the year feels over. Right, Bama feel like they can still get back into it. Tennessee, you'd say, well, they're not beating Georgia. Can they win out and then maybe sneak in? No, they'd be done. A huge win for Josh Heupel. A huge win for Nico's confidence. He looked better in the second half, I thought. Obviously, he had the touchdown pass drove them down some, used his legs some. I thought he looked really good in the second half. First half, not so much. Running game and defense, that's what's going to carry him. That's what's going to carry him until Nico really figures it out. Can he put together a full game, a full two halves? That's probably the big question on how high the ceiling is for this team. I certainly wouldn't at this point pick them to go into Athens and win, but shoot, who knows, man? Georgia's offense didn't look very good last night either. Georgia, very much benefited from some very short fields, and credit to them for capitalizing. But they certainly didn't look like world beaters offensively. And what does that defense look like against Georgia? Because I do think Alabama has a good offense, right? For all the problems that Alabama has, for all the issues that they have right now with their team and their confidence and coaching, this, that, and the other, I think they have a good offense. I think they put up points. They do. They've got a dynamic quarterback who was off tonight. I get it. Milroe wasn't great. But they've got a dynamic quarterback, some really elite weapons. They've got a good offensive line. They've got a good running back stable. And then their quarterback can run as well. I think it is a testament to Tennessee's defense, which will always be good. And in second halves, your defense and your running game absolutely continue to come to life. Just like it did last week against Florida, just like it did this week against Alabama. The running game gets stronger as the game goes on. That doesn't surprise anybody. That's typically how things work. That's typically how it goes down. Your running backs just get better and better as the game goes along. Will it be a detriment to Tennessee to not have a second running back? There's a lot on Sampson's shoulders. Can they get to a point where they can get more out of Nico, whether it's his arm or legs, to take some of that burden off of Sampson? But you get the ball down inside the 15, Sampson's going to score it. Nobody can bring him down. He's one of the best running backs in college football. He's one of the best running backs in the SEC, without a doubt. Now it comes down to no slip-ups before that game in Athens, and that game in Athens on the 16th of November. I've actually already texted some people, and I'm trying to make it to that. I did go to Tuscaloosa for the Alabama-Georgia game, and now it's time to go see another neutral site game. Florida State's on a bye, my team. Not that I want to see them when they play anyway. That's going to be the one that if Tennessee could find a way in that one, right? All the frustrations from the first halves of games, all the frustrations from Arkansas, all the frustrations with Nico not being able to, if Tennessee could find a way to win that one. And I, to Tennessee fans, I'm not letting you remember this win too much because I'm already going on to a month from now. But if Tennessee could find a way to get to that game, even just don't have any slip-ups before then. Play that game well, you're going to the playoff. You can afford a loss to Georgia, I think, right now if you're Tennessee. And then you get into the playoff, and who knows what happens. Who knows what certain players look like at that point. Who knows where Nico is in his development at that point. Shoot, you play a game, and I think Tennessee's defense is every bit as good as Texas is. You play a game, and Beck gives you 3 interceptions. As long as you're not giving it back to him in short fields, you probably be fine. Now, you don't want to count on a 3-interception game to have to win, but certainly don't want to close the door on that. Alabama, man, they got to win out at this point. They got to go to Death Valley. They still have some tough games on the schedule. They got to go win out. Obviously, Auburn at the end, that should be a win, but weird things obviously happen in rivalry weekends. They've got some tough ones. You got to go beat LSU on the road. You got to win out. And if they do, they've got a shot, but you can't guarantee it at this point. Alabama's destiny, I don't know that it still lies in their hands with everybody else that's winning in college football around them. Love to hear your thoughts, Tennessee fans. Love to hear what you loved, didn't love. How high are you on this game? It was amazing. I loved Heupel coming off the field, of what he had to say. Tennessee's been a fun team to root for this year. They've been a fun team to cheer for. I know you guys are on cloud 9, and I want to hear your thoughts. Listen, my team, not having as much fun. If you want to hear me continue a rant, on the other side, a very non-positive rant, because you want to hear what I had to say about the Florida State game on Friday night, you can hear a little bit less positive TJ on college football addiction by clicking the video on the screen right now.